evening, people of London. This is your reporter Thomas Lee here. First of all, today is the 74th year since the great inventor and scientist Selman Watsman discovered a compound called streptomycin, which can fight off tuberculosis. It was the first step of human finding a cure to cure the ancient disease tuberculosis. First of all, tuberculosis was first appeared to this world 2,000 years ago in ancient Greek. This disease attacked the human lungs, and when our lungs attempt to defend themselves, they produce tubercles, which turns yellow when affected by this disease. This disease can be spread through the air by coughing, speaking, sneezing, and spitting. When the Industrial Revolution came in the 19th century, basically everyone from the countryside migrated to the cities to work in factories in the past. In the past, 80% of the people work in farms in the countryside, but in the 19th century, there were only 20% of the people still working in farms. Although going to work in the cities might mean earning more money, people in the lower class had to live in a really bad condition. Tons of people living in one block, and their personal hygiene was terribly bad. This is the main reason tuberculosis was able to spread all over the city in just few days. Tuberculosis affected the people who are poorly fed since their bodies are weaker, and spread easily because of the overcrowded homes in the industrial cities. People in London suffered badly from this disease. 1/3 of the people in London died because of this disease. But sadly, the cure was only found about more than a century later. In 1943, a scientist and inventor, Selman Watsman, discovered a compound that acts against tuberculosis, called streptomycin. This compound was given to a patient in November 1949, which worked and cured the patient. But later finding that this compound doesn't work all the time, since some people's tuberculosis bacillus had developed a resistance to this drug. So patient will be cured for a while, but become ill again later on. During this time, other scientists had also found other chemicals that can fight off tuberculosis. A chemical related to aspirin and para-amino salicylate, isonic acid hydrazide, and streptomycin. By the late 1950s, experiments show if all three drugs were given to a tuberculosis patient, the patient have 80 to 90% cure chance. But afterward, toxicity were formidable and requires a treatment that takes 18 to 24 months. By 1990, cure for tuberculosis could be achieved within 6 months. But because of human propensity for non-complaisance, these cure medications can easily be resisted by the disease. When patients took fewer drugs or dose, the disease bacilli could undergo mutation, which made them drug resistant. These patients with drug resistance are called multi-drug resistant patients. And if the tuberculosis in certain people can resist even stronger drugs, they are called extensive drug resistance. Both these kinds of patients need special care, and the National Jewish Health is the primary source for treatment and laboratory diagnosis of highly resistant tuberculosis in the world. This cure changed everything. Politically, governments were able to help one another, and the world came together. Doctors Without Borders come in and help developing countries. For example, in India, the directly observed treatment short course strategy for tuberculosis patients recommended by the World Health Organization reaches over 1 billion people in 632 districts reporting units. This is a great evidence showing how the world is helping one another when this cure came, and curing tuberculosis had a hope. However, this cure treatment has its limitation. Socially, since the cure was found so late, all the people infected in the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century died. The only reason tuberculosis disappeared in the Industrial Revolution was because the disease was so devastating and killing so much people that the virus weren't able to find a host to infect. Even now, the global tuberculosis epidemic results show that there is about 9 million new cases but 2 million deaths annually because of this disease. Compared to other diseases in the Industrial Revolution like cholera, which was eliminated from London entirely, the cure weren't too effective. In addition, economically, the whole treatment is very expensive. Poor countries that suffer from poverty, war, people with malnutrition can't gain access to the medication. According to United States National Library of Medicine National Institute of Health website, patients with multi-drug resistant tuberculosis treatment costs approximately $134,000. As extensive drug-resistant tuberculosis patients treatment costs approximately $430,000 USD, and normal tuberculosis patients treatment costs approximately $17,000 US. This is a lot of money, and poor people can definitely not afford the full cure treatment. Even though there are these limitations to our cure to tuberculosis, technology will continue to change, and maybe one of you billion viewers will be the next Selman Watsman. This is the end of the news report, and have a good night. See you again.
Audio Jungle.